Back at it again, a Krispy Kreme. Hello, welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another episode of the random press record and record some Diablo 3 series. Episode 9, maybe, potentially, possibly. Heading straight into the Greater Rifts. The goal for today, Paragon 995. That's what we're going for. No, we're going for 993. If you're one of those people that has to have like an even, nice sounding number, otherwise they will go apeshit, I'm sorry, this video is not for you. Here in the Onkruid channel, we don't care. I was gonna say some of the most offensive shit that could probably cost my job, but satire, this is purely satire. Here at the Onkruid channel, we don't care about neurodivergent people. We only care about people with normal functioning brains. Neurodivergent isn't even about like normally functioning or non-functioning brains. It's about how some people's brains are just suited for different types of tasks a little bit, you know. They have different strengths, different emphases in their brain. And it's kind of, I think, a new term. It's a better term in many ways, in my opinion, for people with ADHD or autism spectrum disorder. I think it's a way less stigmatizing term, because if you, for example, hear somebody that has ADHD, you immediately think like, oh, so they can't study or work. And that's quite a stigma, if you ask me. Stigma balls, also, to be frank with you. That's just what I wanted to say right there. How is the mind feeling today? The body is feeling fine, I can tell you that much. Just ate a very, very nice plate of lasagna that me and my girlfriend cooked together. The mind, it's okay. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Had a little bit of a panic attack today, and I still don't really realize why. My girlfriend also doesn't really understand. We were putting up new decorations in our house, but it's a place that we rent. And you know me, I'm like a stickler for rules. I want everything to be by the book. I want everybody to be... I want everybody to know what's going on everywhere. I just want clear communication between all parties. And in this situation, we did not ask permission to make a hole in the wall, even though it was like the smallest hole you can imagine. And I think that, for some reason, just triggered something inside of me of like extreme insecurity, feelings of guilt. I don't know what it was, but it was not a fun experience, I can tell you that much. Let's randomly level another gem, I guess. I mean, there's no reason not to go for the 60% upgrades until we're at like 100, but upgrading this gem doesn't do that much for us either way. But yeah, it was a little bit of a panic attack. It was not a fun experience at all. Of course, panic attacks are not fun experiences, otherwise they would not be called something like panic attacks, because that sounds really negative right from the get-go. But it was a little bit hard to breathe. My body was just sending all kind of signals like, whatever you're doing right now, stop doing it. It was not a fun experience at all, not in the slightest. All because we were just hanging up some nice new posters in our home. Quite sad, really. Quite sad that my body is that accustomed to following every single rule in the book and being such a good little boy that never does anything without asking permission from everyone, that all of a sudden something as small as this can give me panic symptoms. Other than that, though, the mind is doing a-okay. Feeling grateful to how productive, or towards how productive our day was today. Also definitely feeling really grateful towards last night. We went to a quiz and we won, so that was a lot of fun as well. Trivia quiz, if you don't know, that's one of my hobbies. It was a good one. They asked a question about Technoblade, which is like the first time I really feel like my specific set of knowledge got us a question, or at least one of the first times. Sometimes in music questions, yeah, okay, I know the answer, but the other people that are way better at quizzes than me also know the answer. Some of them really are specialized into the music field. This time, of course, my buddy Berglucht was with me at the quiz and he also knew it, and I think my nephew probably also knew it. But if this was a quiz where we were actually there with like the general quiz squad we normally go with, they are almost only older people and then me, I think it would have been a table solo, which is what happens when only one person at the table knows the answer to the question. Pretty much every single question when it comes to regular quizzes that we go to with the family, because my uncle, it's not really my uncle, but I'm not gonna delve into that. I'm not gonna open up that pot again. I'm not gonna crack that lid once more. He basically knows like everything, and we are just there for having a good time and for being amazed at his knowledge. Although I must say, yesterday Berklucht knew quite a lot. My mom actually knew really, she blew everyone at the table away, to be honest. She knew quite a lot of things. Of course, my uncle knew the vast majority rather of the questions. But then also my girlfriend Charlotte, she also knew actually quite a lot of stuff. Probably like on par with me, I could imagine. Maybe just a little bit less, because there were some questions that I could remember from other quizzes, and that was her first time quizzing with us, so it's quite normal that she didn't get those and I did. But all in all, no, everybody at the table had like their fair share of answers that they could provide. And that's what makes it the most fun, you know? If you can feel useful, if you can feel the knowledge seeping through your head and onto the piece of paper. I was writing down the answers for us, and I noticed that I don't necessarily mind doing that, but it does cost me a lot of mental capacity. Mental capacity that I would otherwise be able to use to think. But this time, for example, they ask like the capital of Argentina, and I know that that's Buenos Aires. I definitely know that, but just because I was so stressed about having to write it down and how to write it down, it completely slipped my mind for a second. It was a bit of a scary experience. But all in all, just a very enjoyable night. And then today, an enjoyable day. Not because I had so much free time. I spent some time studying some more for diagnostic research at my work, which is something I discussed. I also spent some time, a little bit of time reading, just like a little bit of time. And me and my girlfriend cleaned the entire apartment, and as I just said, we put up 2 new posters in the living room, 2 new decorative posters. So it was a very productive day. And then we also cooked dinner together, did the dishes already. Yeah, really a beautiful day. And it gives me kind of like the precedent to allow myself to completely chill out now for the rest of the evening. It's almost 10 p.m. I'm gonna try and fit some recordings in there. Definitely gonna play some League if my nephew Simon is up for the challenge. He promised me earlier today he would play with me. We had 1 game earlier today already, but that was a complete mess. I was playing Alzir, the Shurima Pharaoh kind of guy. Very interesting champion. I don't play a lot. Probably hadn't played him in years, but I wanted to give him a shot because he looks strong. And I feel like I could have done A-OK, but my opponent was a very good Syndra player. And Syndra, if you don't know, is one of like the, in my opinion, and I know also, for example, in Nemesis's opinion, and you can trust his opinion, I think, one of the strongest and most consistently just good mid laners to pick. Just every single game, I feel like Syndra has some word. And Azir does too with his ult. His ult has a lot of crowd control, so that's something, but not in my hands. I was still studying the ancient text, studying the way of the blade of Shurima. My buddy was playing Jarvan jungle, and he was playing at his home internet, which is not the best at the moment, so it was just a messy game all around, and I'm hoping that later today we can have some better games. Sad. Pretty sad, those failed upgrades, but that's what you get. That's what you get when you let your heart win. Whoa. Big shout out to my Paramore enjoyers out there. What did I say? 993, right? Should be feasible. It's gonna take a while still, but it should definitely be feasible. Any ancient legendaries potentially? Well, yeah, Cinder Coat, but that's not what we're looking for. No ancient gloves, nothing else was ancient. We are still looking for 1 single primal item here in the Diablo grind. If you would get 1 more primal item, we would actually be able to unlock the final part of the Altar of Rites, which allows us to get 2 primals whenever 1 primal would normally drop a very cool reward, but I feel like people that reach that reward, like my buddy Berglucht for example, they reach the reward and then they're like, well, okay, yeah, that was nice, that's enough Diablo for now. And that's a bit sad, right? Because the reward is all about, well, in the future it will be easier to gain more primal, so to possibly get a primal that you can actually use. But most of people are like, no, alright, enough grind, that was a-okay, it was fun while it lasted. And I know that the people in his Discord and Berglucht's Discord are now playing Path of Exile, which is absolutely amazing, that's so cool. A game I definitely enjoyed a lot when I used to play it, but my computer is just a little bit too bad for it, to be honest. I can still enjoyfully play it, but it has some lag spikes most of the time, and that ruins my immersion and ruins my fun most of the time. FPS lag, okay. Internet lag, that is just like Vietnam flashbacks for me, which is exaggerating to a high extent, because of course atrocities like wartime cannot be compared to what I'm about to describe at all. But when I was still a kid living at home, our internet was absolutely complete dog shit, hot ass, really just a piece of flaming trash lit on fire yet again, and then someone threw up over it. That was our internet provider back then. It was not a great time. The lag really was infuriating. It's one thing to lose because you're playing bad, right? But losing because you're lagging too much or just getting disconnected from the game for an entire minute at the start, and your lane opponent getting, I'm talking about League again, getting a 20 CS lead without you being able to contest anything, to do anything about the situation. Now that is triggering, my man, I can tell you that much. And it just brings back those memories as soon as the internet starts lagging. It's just not a great experience. Hello, Vesalius. Goodbye, Vesalius. No primals to be seen here, but that's okay. We still have all the time in the world to get some. Talking about Berglucht's Discord made me realize that I also joined, or realized that I could talk about the other Discord I joined, the Discord about small content creators. Trying to give a lot of people feedback based on just my personal experience, and maybe a little tiny bit also based on my experience as a content creator and what kind of works, but mostly just personal enjoyment, because I don't know why I just rolled helmets there. I don't feel comfortable calling myself an expert in the field. Not in the slightest, but I have been in the YouTube game for a couple of years now myself, and watching YouTubers, that has been a pastime of me for the past century almost. So I think I have like some expertise. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I have some expertise on the subject. And that's why I find it a-okay to give people advice when it comes to their YouTube thumbnails, their video pacing, their video subject, their intro. One of the things I gave feedback on, for example, was this kid creating a Minecraft video about the rarest type of mobs. And he made it into a top 5. So 5 rarest mobs. And his intro consisted of showing Minecraft mobs. Which, okay, cool, relatable, very true, and pretty inspiring, to be honest. Nelson Mandela could take a page out of that book. Either way, what I'm getting at is, I was like, alright, I understand where you're coming from with the intro, just showing some rare Minecraft animals, but if you're going for a specific number, like a top 5, and you're not showing all 5 animals, or at least just 5 animals in your introduction, that just makes it a bit weird. So that's why I told him, why not, it was also a short, so it was a short video, why not just emphasize the video title yet again by letting the subtitles appear on screen and blurring out the background to really give people the idea of like, alright, 5 monsters are about to be shown to me, 5 NPCs, non-player controlled characters, non-player characters, whatever. Instead of just showing like 2 and then having them be like, well, that's just 2, what's the other 5, you know? Either you show all 5 of them, or you use something else to keep your audience hooked, to entice them to watch the rest of the video. And maybe it's not that deep and I'm just kind of bullshitting and it doesn't make any sense what I'm saying, but in my mind, it kind of made sense what I was saying right there. It's the same if a person is like, alright, I'm gonna make 3 recipes today in this video, and they show like 1 recipe in their intro of the video. Then I'm like, okay, but what are the other 3? Whereas if they would just show them standing in front of their cooking station and then telling us like, hey, I'm gonna make 3 dishes for you today, I would be like, all right, yeah, based, cool, enjoyable. I'll subscribe right away. I'll even donate to your Patreon. Do you have an OnlyFans account? I would be way more enticed to keep on watching that video than when somebody kind of clickbaits me and then doesn't show me the money right away. Paragon 993, if I'm not mistaken, that was the exact goal we were going for today. No primals so far, but we had a blast, didn't we? We had a blast talking about anything and nothing at the same time. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.